It was once just an idea until breaking ground in November of 2016, and now here it is in all its glory. Spectacular SoFi Stadium here in metropolitan Los Angeles.
Today, the curtain falls on the regular season, and we've got a good one in store between the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Chargers.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
At their own 15-yard line. Let's go.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down. In motion, the tight end. Now on second and 13. Herbert. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on third and long.
Partner, when you see a screen pass and the defensive tackle ends up making the play, you know that one wasn't sold well at all, because he should be upfield by the time you throw the pass. If not, you end up with big trouble, as we just saw right there.
And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. Here's J.K. Scott now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Fielded at about the 28. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. They'll call that a 61-yard punt. He got all of that one. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Off the play fake. Allen.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete. So, CD, this defense, they know that they have to be at their very best when they're taking on a team here that's in the midst of a winning streak that's now stretched over multiple months, not weeks, months.
I think the challenge they put upon themselves is, we want to be the guys to end that streak, and what's working in their favor, the winning streak on the other side. Sometimes that carries a burden with it because they feel like they have to play perfectly as well. Let's just go out there and get him is the idea.
He's going deep for Brown. And this is caught. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown. Both sides of the football in sync early. You force the 3 and out, and then you take it down, score points.
You know what that tells me? They sold their game plan really well. Head coach said, listen, we're just going to stop them on 3 and out. We're going to take the ball downfield and score. But he also told them how it was going to happen. They're going to run this. We're going to stuff it. Then we're going to take the ball. They won't be able to keep up with us. And they got it done.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
Their own 20-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. And there, of course, was a lot of talk about this ball game coming into play. 2 division leaders in the AFC. Could this be a potential playoff preview down the line?
Yeah, and I think when you're talking about the talk about this game coming into play, you're talking about me, because I blew up your phone all week prior to this one. I was so excited about this game because, to me, it's not out of the realm of possibility that these two teams see each other again down the road. I like this matchup. They match up very well against each other.
And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12.
Well, this defense for the Bills, they really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
They'll get 11, but still a little short. Fourth down.
Fourth and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Own side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
This is fielded at the 7. And right around the 20, he'll head out of bounds.
And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And they will take over 1st and 10.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game.
He's got a man, complete.
And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line. So there is the big arm of Josh Allen on display. He can throw it as deep as anybody, and that was an absolute laser.
And boy, that was something to watch, wasn't it? How about the way these guys came out here in the first quarter? They really put their stamp on this game early with their play calls, and they certainly look good so far.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. A great play there.
That's his 19th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bills are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And that'll make the score 14-0.
Chargers, nothing.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
The Charger drive about to get going. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Herbert now.
He's got his tight end. It's Albert Okwuegbunam.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
Another big play here as they strike for 31. And a nice milestone reached on that last throw as here late in the season, he goes over 4,000 yards passing.
And he's really thrown the ball well all season long. Had some big games along the way. He's inspired his receiving corps to go out and make plays for him in each and every ball game.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Going to throw on 3rd down with Herbert. And it'll be intercepted. Teron Johnson able to pick it.
And the Bills are going to take over once again, and they'll have it at their own 8-yard line.
Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, right? Because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time. And you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
Nasir Adderley that time making the tackle.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Alert, alert, alert!
going deep for Brown. That's caught inside the 20.
And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
A gain of 78 yards on the play. First down, Buffalo.
$14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
14. Chargers, nothing.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Now Allen. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read?
That's into a crowd and intercepted.
Picked off by J.C. Jackson.
And the Chargers force the turnover, and they'll take over at the 10.
Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
As we've seen, their first 2 drives didn't yield anything points-wise. Certainly feels like they think to themselves, it's time to open this thing up, taking the big shot downfield.
To throw again on 2nd down. Herbert finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a 1st down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's 2nd down. The Chargers at 9-7 now on the year. They were losers their last time out. Trying to get back in the win column, but obviously not an easy task here in a hostile environment.
Yeah, always tough to win away from home. But sometimes what you do is you use these types of games as bonding experiences and carry that into the contest.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Back to throw here, Herbert. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard.
And he's going to get this down inside the 5 before he's out of bounds.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. A great effort there. His 11th touchdown of the year.
And the Chargers are back within a score.
Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make our score 14-7. The kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Bills take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Now this time, Allen will throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes. I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need one. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up two.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Play action. Now it's Allen. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Asante Samuel Jr. And the Chargers are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line.
Well, this was a 14-0 game not too long ago. Things were looking pretty good. And then you give up the touchdown on the last drive. Now the interception.
So that's a lesson in trying to stay vigilant, isn't it? You have to stay on top of things. Can't relax too much because, as you noted, things change. Now they've got to go out there and get a spark going again and try and slow down this comeback.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 9. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Bills take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive.
Here comes another drive from this unit, and Charles, they're coming off a costly mistake on the last possession, an interception in a game that is very close right now.
Well, as we know, they all sting no matter what the situation, but in a one-possession game, that'll hurt a little bit more. But this is an excellent opportunity to make up for it on this drive. I just don't expect them to try and take huge gambles to make up that momentum in a hurry.
From up near the 40 now after the big play to start, here's another 1st and 10. Throwing now is Allen. He'll air this one out deep for Davis. And Allen going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. Derwin James with a pick. And the Chargers are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
After the turnover, here's Herbert. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And now this is intercepted. My goodness.
Jair Elam makes a pick, and the Bills will take over here just shy of the 30. Well, their defense got them the football with an interception. They trot out there, Charles, in the very first play. They give the football right back.
Brandon, I almost expect you to come in like an auctioneer. We got two. Do I hear three? Remember, if it's 2 in a row, we'll be hit 3 in a row because these offenses, they got to be a little bit more careful as they go forward. These defenders.
And that's caught inside the 35. A big play here for Buffalo, and even 40 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Dancing to his left. And incomplete on the deep ball. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. Actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over, then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Well, that is caught. It's Davis. And he's brought to the ground with another 1st down at the Chargers' 12-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Again, they'll throw with Allen. Touchdown! Dawson Knox. A 12-yard touchdown grab.
And the Bills will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And it's now 21-7.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30.
And a pretty slick return there. Almost got it to the 45. Officially, they'll call him down at the 44.
Now, that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
The Charger drive about to get going. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw.
On Herbert, his 3rd interception.
Picked off by Micah Hyde.
And the Bills are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. Well, Charles, you know, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
So after the INT, it's Allen. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Davis. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. From their own 40 to the other 40. The gain of 20 leads to 1st and 10. Allen going to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
We know he has a lot of confidence in his arm and likes to force it downfield, but the coverage was tight there. Fortunate it wasn't picked off.
So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. And now a timeout defensively after that 1st down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Bills taking the lead to the locker room. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach? And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Bills with the lead, and they'll get the football first as the second half is underway. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive.
As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around, and now outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
Yeah, they went into the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
Now a deep ball here, hauled in just past the 50. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the third quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
On first down, Allen. They will find Davis. That's complete.
And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Flush to his right.
And he's got his tight end Knox for a Bills touchdown.
A great play there. With his 14th touchdown of the year, second of the game.
And the Bills take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And the lead is now 24.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more.
The Charger drive about to get going. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Another try after the first down sack. Herbert throwing the out route incomplete. It's Howard. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
Here's a handoff out of the gun.
And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior. Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Justin Herbert looking to pass.
And this one incomplete. And another throw that really could have been, maybe should have been intercepted. That would have been number 4. Instead, it's 4th down.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
They snap it to Herbert. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Bills are going to take over in excellent field position.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
On play action, Allen. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
So roughing the passer penalty, never one that you like to see.
Not at all, and especially when you're in that final push of the season. You can't afford to get your quarterback hurt before the playoffs roll around, and we know they'll be here before you know it.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. He's got his target. It's the tight end Knox. Touchdown, Bills. Dawson Knox, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Bills have opened the lead up to 30. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out.
Chargers take over 1st and 10.
The Charger drive about to get going. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked off by Caleb Farley. And the Bills are going to take possession of the football. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the 3rd quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
All that for a 2-yard gain, 2nd down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by J.C. Jackson.
And the Chargers are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line.
Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the 3rd quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
A shotgun snap for Herbert. And he comes back with one complete.
And he is going to have the Chargers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33. Well, this defense, they've got the 4-score advantage, and you can see why they continue to bottle up the run game, and really they've just been sharp in all facets here in this one, CD.
Yeah, they've kept that offense in check the entire game, and I think it's been led by what you just talked about, that defensive front, which has not allowed them to run the football and establish control of the line of scrimmage.
And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to say, hey, we're going to administer the penalty the same way for all quarterbacks. But when it's a star back there, even more so are they going to be diligent about throwing the flag.
Here's nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Now this is picked up by the Bills. There he goes, right side. And this is going to be brought back for a Bills touchdown. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week, he's smiling.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score.
This one taken just inside the 10. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line.
23-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized. Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
And this will be touchdown inside the 20. They'll spot it at the 18-yard line. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in Newport, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. He's going deep for Brown. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now Allen. He's going deep for Brown. They've got his man complete. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown.
When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Charger drive about to get going. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Going to throw on 3rd down with Herbert. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they can.
He's got a man complete.
And he is going to have the Chargers 1st down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive.
From the 50, here's Herbert. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Jordan Poyer.
And the Bills are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at the 34. They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 40 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of 1st downs, and here a loss of yardage.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Here's Allen to throw it. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them.
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked up by J.C. Jackson. And the Chargers are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 7.
I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. And now here is another interception.
Picked off by Caleb Farley. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense will very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice.
And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
I'm not sure what other ground there is to cover here. I mean, this offense has been amazing. Just total domination, Charles.
They've clicked so well, and if you really focus in on the offensive line, they've protected well when they wanted to throw the ball. They've moved people off the line of scrimmage when they've wanted to run it. Smiles all the way around. This offense has been really good in this one.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
At their own 31-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
2nd and 10. Here's Herbert once more. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And some room to maneuver.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
A gain there of 30 big ones.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
On 1st down, it's Herbert. And they take him down. The Bills get to him. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. He's going to flip one out here to his running back.
And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
3rd and long, it's Herbert. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Now this is picked up by the Bills. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed popcorn for everyone in their film session.
So for the Bills,
they finish oh so close to perfection in the regular season, but this win in the final weekend gives them a final mark of 16-1.
And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title.
Meanwhile, for the Chargers, it could be a potentially devastating loss as they finish with a mark of 9-8.
And they'll get their shot at playoff football as they'll be on the road next week as a wild card.